What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thanks for joining me on this Beatport Studio Sessions live event. I'm here to talk to you about my latest project with Cassy on her Kwench Records imprint, the Please Me EP. And I'm going to be covering the inception of the project and how things came about, and also spending some time focusing on the importance of creative space to make a great collaborative project, and of course the tools used and some of my production techniques in my small studio here in Toronto. So thank you for joining me. Why don't we just get into things right now? So when I first discovered Cassy, it was eons ago. I knew of her as a great DJ. I can't tell you how excited I was to learn that she's playing my Derek Does Disco First Stanza record everywhere last year, named it Song of the Year. I was absolutely flattered by the level of support that was coming from her, and how that introduced me to new audiences as a result. So one thing led to another. We met at ADE last year and saw a really good opportunity to get together and share our creative experiences to one place. So we started this project just shortly after ADE, and I had sent a series of ideas, and I would say that would be one of the key production techniques I have. It's nothing fancy, but you should always get in the habit of sketching beats and making sure you have a stockpile of things available for these types of opportunities when they arise. So I shared a number of these ideas with her, and we pared it down to 3 tracks to work on. Namely, they are Please Me, Stand Up, and Love Me as well. The project really evolved to this place where it's somewhat of a personal record, but the beats were hard and edgy, and we wanted to present a bit of a difference in terms of the tech house and techno world. Other key things that was very important to both of us, I think, was making sure one another left enough creative space where we can leave our creative impact on the tunes that we were making. I can't tell you how important it is to do that, because when I've been involved in other projects where I sent the idea, here's the main groove, and what comes back is a completely different song, and it just demotivates you completely as an artist and producer to continue with the project. So I just wanted to make sure that the ideas that I sent to Cassy left her enough room where she can actually envision and see herself in the track and infuse credible ideas that would work for both of us. So I think we achieved that quite favorably in this project for all 3 songs, as a matter of fact, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Why don't I give you a view of the tools that I use in my studio? What we have here are, just practice gear, XDJ 1000s, Pioneer Mixer, RMX 500 for effects, which I sometimes use in productions. Over here we have the voice transformer by Roland, the VT3, that I sometimes use as well. Here we have the Roland TB3 in the center, and this thing, this little black box, is my art preamp, which I run my Arturia Mini Brute through just for some crunchy sounds on bass lines that I really love. We got Native Instruments machine here. I use this predominantly for drums. I can't hear anything now, it's muted. And over through here is my recent addition, the Roland System 8. I love the flexibility of this keyboard. You can plug in other synthesizers as well, classic synthesizers like the Jupiter and Juno. And down here we have the Arturia Mini Brute rather. I use this predominantly for bass lines, which I run through that little black box that I showed you earlier. And over here we have the ASR 10. It's pretty much a keyboard I used to use to make hip-hop productions way back in the day, in like the late 90s and started me off into some French house stuff, and I use it mainly as a MIDI type of keyboard. Back over here is the Softube Console 1, and that is paired up nicely against my Apollo Twin. And one of the most important pieces of equipment in my studio is the decibel reader to protect my ears. You know, when you're spending a lot of time in the studio, you can lose track of things, and I try to keep things like well below 70 dB. Anything above 80 dB or longer really starts to affect your ears. And then down here I have the UAD Apollo 8 Quad. I think these are game changers in anybody's production in terms of bringing that nice warm analog feel. So there you have it. And now let's step through some of the specifics and the production techniques of each of the tracks. This song, Please Me, originated again from one of the several beat ideas I sent to Cassy originally. And this started out with a sound. Way back in the day in my initial studio, I was a huge proponent of having a lot of outboard gear, and I really pared down things to work more inside of the box with minimal pieces of outboard gear, because I really believe less is more in some aspects, and you work with what you got, and it's really about tweaking the sounds to a point where you are trying to replicate what it is exactly you're trying to convey. So I wanted some interesting texture and swinging grooves in this particular beat idea that I had. So I started with this sound. And this is from it's a stock sound. It's a stock sound from Alchemy, and I just added several other plug-in pieces to it. Some distortion, and you know, so I think that's the Demuir 2 here, and as well I use an LFO tool to make sure that the kick wouldn't be you know, masked or suffocated by the sound, because it's just rolling through the track in the same frequencies as the kick. So this sound, really loved it. I used some filter automation on there, and cut off so you can hear it broadening a bit more. And you know, some things just come to you. As I was hearing the sound, I immediately got an idea for the bass line, which sounds like this. Similarly too, I used some distortion on this as well, and you can hear it building up with some filter, and it's opening, and you combine it with the first sound. Give you an idea of how I work, I like to keep all the audio pieces up here. By the way, the program I'm using is Logic Pro X. I love this program because I come from a school of Cubase originally, so this was just a natural choice for me, and I think it sounds a lot better too than some of the other programs that are out there. So I usually have the audio pieces here. Any like MIDI based instruments or plug-in based instruments are in the middle, and then I finish it off with the drum you know, components here and MIDI notes here. You know, it's a mix. When it comes to drums, it's a mix between audio and MIDI pieces. I like to use MIDI because it gives me a lot of flexibility to swap out sounds. So to go back, here's the original sound with the bass line as well. So I'm going to let you hear what Cassy then added to it, which was an amazing vocal, and here it is. And here's another piece I want to add. So now that Cassy added her piece of that creative space and worked within it, at the time when we were making this, I was listening to a lot of dub music, and once I heard her vocal, I immediately knew, hey, we can add some of that influence in here. So with the bass line kind of reminded me of that. Here's what I did with the vocal for kind of like a dubby effect right here. Yeah, and I beefed that up with this UAD Fatso Senior plugin. I split it on either left and right channel, and I went nuts with stock Logic delay effect or echo effect to create that dubby kind of thing I was looking for. So, you know, above and beyond that, we just started building around things, and Cassy was tremendous in adding some other instrument pieces, like have a listen to this with the kick and everything else on it. I'll just isolate the kick just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, because we got these vocals and a deep bass line going on. It was necessary to make sure the kick punched through the mix. So we got a sub here. And then we got another attack, I like to call it an attack bass kick. And then we added this, a top kick. Just to really cut through things. And everything's just riding and swinging. Right here. Another interesting sound. I used a lot of the Alchemy plugin in this and tweaked the sounds accordingly. I think it's good to have these types of sounds in here to, you know, vary the tracking and keep things moving and remove any dullness, just introducing different polished sounds into the track. Because I usually, when I'm making a song, I envision it in the clubs on the dance floor. This is why I make this music, and I'm so happy Cassy agreed with the approach as well. The other thing I'd like to share is the importance of variation. So in the bass line here, it's a very dominant bass line, distortion and everything. But here's what I did to, move things around. Same bass line. So you can hear it's filtered now, and there's another note added. And then we open it up some more here. Just continue to go nuts with it. Right there. There's another variation. Yeah, it's right here. So having that variation keeps things moving and interesting all at the same time. Although this is the main bass line, I wanted to keep things interesting with some variation, and that's why these are colored differently. There you have it. That is Please Me. A collection of great sounds and leaving enough creative space with Cassy's vocal to do some really good work and damage on that one. So the next track is Stand Up, which I think in the early feedback reports from club DJs, it's a song that they're connecting with, and it's been great. Stand Up is, taking a stand for your life. The impression I got when Cassy sent me back her vocals, I chopped them up. I put a little distortion on it to really give it that grimy effect, and I think it went over well. The song, combined with the bass line, really does some serious damage. Check out what I'm talking about. Here's Cassy's vocal. Using Demuir 2 again. I automated the cutoff. Sorry, frequency cutoff. Just messing with that to give it some texture.
This is your life. Stand up. This is your life. Stand up.
Amazing. And the bass line is from our friend the Mini Brute. The interesting thing about the bass line here, I just wrote a line. I just let it record, and I was just banging out a line here. So this is what the full line sounds like. And then I heard something in there rhythmically. I thought it worked better, so I did about 3 different chops to it to put it together, and it just seemed to come together nicely when I put it under the kick. So here it is. It all sounds the same, but at a sub-frequency level, there's a lot of different things going on, and then we just continue to build around this. Cassy added this really incredible sound here. I expand it. And I threw a filter on it. And I think that adds some edginess to the track. There's some other beautiful Cassy sounds. And then I just let the vocal roll through just to keep it. of the things I do when I'm making any sort of tech house or techno-based music is in Softube Console 1. I use the British Class A desk. It comes with another desk. I think it's the Class... I can't remember. It's another desk. It's an SSL kind of model desk, whereas the British Class A gives a more of a feel of the Neve desk, and there's a lot of good lower frequencies that are available as a result, and that's why I really enjoy using it on tech-based projects, because all that bass is just killer, and it's there in the EQ, and it really makes quite a difference in warming things up. The other piece I want to point out to you, as a part of the creative process, you have to be open to, give and take. So when we had the song done originally, Cassy was road testing it, and she said, "Oh, there's this housey chord you got in there. Got to get rid of it. It just didn't make sense." And you just got to be open to these things. But this is the original chord. She said it just... You know what I mean? Like, great sound, but it just didn't work for this song in terms of where we took it. So in the final mix down, I just muted the sound, and we just left the intensity of the breakdown to be this, where the vocal really controlling things, which is absolutely right, because that chord distracted from the vocal.
Stand up, this is your life. 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 Stand up, this is your life.
And here we go.
Stand up. Your life.
There you have it. That was Stand Up for Your Life, Cassy and Demuir. Great track, very powerful, great message. And last but not least, we have Love Me. Similar approach to the other tracks. Grimy bass line, distortion with some automation in terms of the filtering, opening the cutoff and allowing you to hear the different textures and the distortion in the bass line, and with Cassy adding some interesting sounds and a vocal that really points out what the song is about. So I'm going to give you a run of the bass line, because I think in the song it was the focal point of the groove, and we just built everything around it. Right here. Yeah. Here we definitely use a less is more approach on this, and I'd say for a lot of the songs, we just wanted to keep that upfront groove. Another sound So as I'm playing this back, I'm remembering a few things. We used Cassy's breath in a different way. I chopped it up at some parts here. Let me see if I can find it. Here. Yeah, right here. I'm gonna do a lot to that. That was just plain luck with that sound and how it was recorded with Lad, her engineer. So, you know, keeping these nice little bits for the track really made the difference here, and lots of other drum parts pulling things together. I used Massive to create this original bass line, and then I bounced it down with again with the principle. Sorry, with the principle of variation. You can see in this orange part here, that's where the bass line will change. It's just forward. Right here. Go. The sound here. Use Razor for that grimy stab that we have in and out of the song, and that's really about it. It's keeping a simple bass line groove to rock the entire track, and with the vocals, things just came together so nicely. And there you have it. That completes the EP. Cassy and Demuir, Please Me. Very excited for this project, so please go out and cop it, check it out. We put a lot of great work into this, and I'm so happy that we were able to maintain a balanced level of creative space where each of us could contribute in a very positive way that has created the uniqueness in each of the songs that are available. So please continue, go out, rock it, support. Much love from your boy. Demuir here, Cassy and Demuir, Please Me EP, dropping November 3rd. Thank you once again. Bless.